my loves! The last few days have been tough for my family. As some of you might know, I lost my mom about a week ago. We are still recovering, but then we are also forced to get moving due to a possible lockdown. Here in Malaysia, we have around 800 cases, and now we are all on restricted movement until the 31st of March. This means my son, who was supposed to head back to the university, is still here, doing his classes online. And my other two mini adults are working from home. Having everyone at home means cooking, cleaning, and washing for everyone, and that takes a little bit of planning. And I know that a lot of us are in a similar situation right now, so I thought I would make a video on providing 10 tips to surviving lockdown. So tip 1 is to make a menu plan. Here I've drawn up a menu plan for 2 weeks worth of meals. We keep the breakfast pretty simple, mostly with eggs and oatmeal, so I really only need to plan for lunches and dinners. In the menu plan that you make, start with what you already have at home. Keep it simple, using up your perishables first and then followed by non-perishables in that order. And this is a great time to use up the stuff you have in the pantry. And please remember, this is not the time to be adventurous and to prepare gourmet meals, but instead to make wholesome, nutritious food for the family. I will leave you some meal ideas in my blog with the recipes for your reference. Tip 2 is to gauge how much you really need. Please do not succumb to panic buying. The reason shelves in the grocery stores are empty is not because there's a shortage of food or production, but simply because short-term demand has increased faster than stores can restock the shelves. This is just a short-term precaution to curb a further spread of this rather contagious virus. So take stock of what you already have at home before you buy anything. For example, decide how many eggs you consume a day, multiplied by the number of days, less how many you have at home. We eat eggs for breakfast almost every morning, so ideally we would need about 75 eggs for 2 weeks. But we bought 60 even though we are totally out of eggs, leaving some for other people. This is a time to think of others as well. Similarly, decide how much bread you will need. Usually we will have 4 to 5 small loaves, but we only manage to get 2. But as I said, that's fine. We will make flat bread at home as needed, or buy another couple of loaves in a week's time when it's available. Another great option is to buy pasteurized milk instead of fresh milk. Although we usually finish 1 packet a day for our daily tea and coffee, we will try to use less and manage the fortnight with just 10 packets. Now, for most of us, the option of ordering in is still there, so we're not going to go hungry, but try to keep that as a last resort. We really do not know who and how this food is being prepared. Tip 3 is to focus your shopping on things that have a long shelf life that do not go bad easily. When we went to the farmer's market on Sunday, they had almost no fresh vegetables at all, so I was forced to innovate. Luckily, there are many canned foods that can substitute fresh ingredients quite effectively. Of course, they cannot compare nutritionally to fresh veggies, but they will do fine in a pinch. Canned tomatoes in juice are extremely versatile, and there are also many types of canned mushrooms available, which can be thrown into almost any dish. We even managed to snag a can of baby corn. And for protein, you can get a variety of beans and chickpeas in cans as well. The important thing is to rinse them before use because they are preserved in sodium. Other sources of protein can be canned fish such as sardines, tuna, or salmon if you can get some. Another advantage of buying non-perishables, besides how long it lasts, is that it doesn't need to be refrigerated, making storage so much easier. Remember to add to your list basics like sugar, salt, and oil so you don't run out of those. And other pantry items which are great for bulking up your meals are garlic, onions, and potatoes. We were able to get a couple of kilos of potatoes, so that should see us through the next couple of weeks. We have also opted for cordials instead of juices. These cordials are fortified with vitamin C, an essential supplement to combat the virus, and we also got a big tub of honey. Honey in tea or in warm water is an excellent remedy for an itchy throat. Honey is also a natural preservative, so it basically lasts forever. The next essential category are the carbs. Most carbs have a long shelf life, which is great in this case. For us, it was actually More economical to buy this huge 10-kilo bag of rice than to buy 5 kilos, but rice is a staple in our diet, so it made sense for us. And this packet of oatmeal will be ideal for a highly nutritious breakfast. The first time when we went shopping on Monday, there was no other pasta available other than lasagna. But yesterday, my son managed to get 2 packets of fettuccine, so that should keep my mini adults going. If you want my lasagna recipe, I will leave you a link in the description box below. He also managed to grab 2 small loaves of bread, so we will have to make flatbread at home as and when needed. And something that we really couldn't get hold of until yesterday were instant noodles. We had a couple of these vermicelli ones already in our pantry, and my son got a couple of the instant fried noodles as well for variety. Again, this is not the time to worry about complete nutrition or calorie counting. We love to dress up instant noodles in our house with loads of veggies, protein, and condiments. And if you were lucky enough to score some perishables, such as meat and vegetables, you will probably want to ensure the longevity. And this brings me to tip number 4. You can freeze almost anything. Whatever perishables you have managed to buy or you already have on hand, go ahead and freeze them. When it comes to veggies, chop, and if you wish, even steam your veggies, just lay them out on a tray to freeze the pieces individually, and once frozen, you can put them into a Ziploc so you can take out only as much as you need instead of having to defrost the entire batch each time. Some of the veggies that freeze well are cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, corn, and peas. I'm just using my silicone freezer bags to portion out veggies. You can also freeze bread, which is what I'm planning to do, so that they don't go moldy. You simply pop it into the toaster or oven and it tastes as good as new. And I'm also freezing a couple of cheeses I managed to get as well. If you want to see a full video on how I utilize my freezer, you can click on the card above. Now, tip 5 is not to panic if you're not able to get meat. I know there's a lot of grocers that were out of meat this week, ours included, but there are also so many alternatives to eating meat these days that there is really no need to worry. You can get your protein from canned beans and fish, as I mentioned earlier, or you could also use tofu or mock meat. I have an entire drawer in my freezer dedicated to vegetarian protein options. Using the standard recipe for cooking meat, you can simply substitute the meat with mock meat or tofu. Lentils are also very easy to buy dried, store, and then cook using a slow cooker or pressure cooker. I will leave you the recipe for cooking a flavorful dish of lentils in my blog. Now, tip 6 is to protect your littles. Due to social distancing, we have totally stopped our dog Zoe from going outdoors, so we stocked up on her wee-wee mats. And since we might not be able to get fresh meat and veggies for her regular homemade porridge, we have opted for these packets of food, which can be added to a small amount of carbs, such as rice or pasta. And if you have young children, simple ways to keep them safe could be by removing shoes at the door and keeping their hands and faces washed and clean. My next tip is to be creative and to substitute. Now, here in Asia, most homes have a bidet spray in every bathroom, and that cuts down a lot on toilet roll usage. For those of you in the West who are not able to get toilet roll, consider investing in a bidet spray or using buckets of water if you need to. It is scientifically proven to be more hygienic than tissue anyway, and it actually saves more water overall. Similarly, when cleaning, use cloth rags instead of disposable antibacterial wipes around the house. Limit use of paper towels for nasty spills and tissues for stuffy noses and wiping germ-dense items. And if you have toddlers and babies who are still in nappies, you can use the good old-fashioned cloth nappies if you run out of disposable diapers. My kids were all cloth diapered, and it is not as scary as you might think. You just need some thick muslin cloth and a couple of safety pins. I promise these substitutions will be sanity savers in any situation. Another very important item you need to stock up sensibly on is medication. Ensure that you calculate and buy enough tablets for 2 to 3 weeks, but there is no need to overstock. It will be useful to ensure that you have some basic medication handy, such as paracetamol, antihistamines, tummy ache medications such as Buscopan and charcoal tablets, and maybe something your toddler needs for colic. You do not want to have to go to a clinic for these small issues and risk contracting a worse virus, so be prepared to handle small matters at home. Tip 9 is to keep your home clean. This may be a good time to remind you that you now have the time to really deep clean your house. Take advantage of your free time to declutter and organize your home. In fact, with your family being home, you have the advantage of extra hands to help. Part of your shopping list will and should include non-food items such as detergents, paper towels, toilet paper, hand wash, and other cleaning aids. The rubbish bags and floor cleaner will definitely come in handy to do the extra cleaning. The one thing we bought generously is the hand wash. We are washing our hands frequently and thoroughly throughout the day. I estimated an average of 1 bottle per person. I also picked up an extra roll of rubbish bags and a floor cleaner. Chances are that you will not be able to get any antibacterial sprays and cleaner, but not to worry, you can make your own. I will leave you the recipe in the description box below. Now, tip 10 is to have some fun. Have some family time. It's important not to take this as an entirely negative time of our lives. There are positive steps we can take as global citizens to protect ourselves, our families, and our fellow human beings to eradicate the virus. Use this time at home as an opportunity to spend quality time with your family and friends, reconnecting with each other. Video calls are a great way to make up for physical meetings. Take this opportunity to play board games, charades, and have a movie night at home. The bottom line is that games are a very easy way to enjoy time with your kids of all ages, and that benefits you, them, and the whole family. I hope you will use these tips to make the stay at home more pleasant. I want to recommend using this as a positive opportunity to get things done at home, things that you don't otherwise get time to do. You can finish a craft project you started a long time back, or even do an online class, and of course spend time with the family. Stay well, be healthy, and until the next video, this is Raveena saying happy homemaking.